is my honor today to introduce you to two people that have been doing great things for the Fairview High School football team. Kevin Anderson and Tim French are two gentlemen who have volunteered their services through the past few years doing play-by-play commentary for our football games. They're not paid for this. They do this totally as a volunteer work, and they do this to support Fairview, to support Fairview High School, and just to generate some goodwill in the community. Really proud of the work they've done. I've had any number of people come and ask, do those guys work for ESPN? Because they sound so good. We'll play you a little sample of their work. But I'd like for us to have an opportunity for you to meet Kevin and Tim, and for us to chat a little bit. So thank you both for being here.
My pleasure.
Really appreciate you coming.
My pleasure also. We do it on Friday nights because it gets us out of the house.
We get a hall pass to get out, and you guys are familiar with the hall passes. We get one of those on Friday nights.
Well, that's a good plan. How many games would you estimate that you've done for us at this point? I know it was all this season and all of last season.
Well, this, for me personally, started back about 5 years ago. We had the lapel mics that we started with. I was on top of the stadium, and Bob, it allowed me to get the opportunity to do something I've always enjoyed, and that's calling football games or being out there and being part of the action. And although it was very raw at the beginning stages, I would guess that for me personally, I'm somewhere in the 50-plus game range.
Wow.
On calling them for Fairview in basketball or football or something. Not all of them, I don't think, made it to the TV, but around 50.
Wow. That's impressive.
It's been fun.
I started last year with Kevin, and prior to that, we did some of the live game mics, what Alan Bissell did this year. But I have to admit, I have really enjoyed the last 2 years, so I guess I'm around 15, 20 games. And it's been a lot of fun, and we hope to continue to do it.
Yep.
We talked at the end of the last game, and even though you're being paid nothing, we gratefully renewed your contract. So we're very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
We were talking a little bit before we started recording, and I mentioned to you both, you've inspired a lot of students here to get started with play-by-play commentary, and I'm very grateful for that. We had a number of people try out commentary for basketball last year, and where they started was watching what you two did for us in football.
Good.
And we went up from there, so it was a good thing.
That's what it's all about. It's getting these kids involved, and it's incredible the job that they do. And sometimes I think they make us look better than we really are. And I can speak for myself on that, but they certainly make us look good.
Well, you guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Really do.
Well, I know that when we get the games on Friday nights, and it's always fun. We just kind of stand back in the corner, and your crew's doing what they do, getting everything just right, and then all we do is pull on the headsets and go. I think that's a testament to you and your group of kids.
Well, thank you.
They make it easy and they make it fun.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you. One of the things we did today is I went through to our advanced classes, the second year and the third and fourth year media students, and I asked them, if you had the opportunity to interview Kevin and Tim, what kinds of questions would you ask them? And so they gave me some cards, and if you don't mind, we'll go through and we'll ask. There are no trick questions. They're all okay.
And we've not seen these questions before, so
that's true. We haven't even talked about them.
They weren't submitted to our advisors.
That's right. That's right.
Your handlers.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what the students would have asked you if they were here.
Okay.
What gets you motivated to do commentary?
I'll go first. Yeah. One, I love football. Football was a big part of my life growing up, small town, Americana, just like Fairview. And I really enjoy the opportunity to go out and call the games and watch the young men of Fairview who have practiced so long and hard get out there and play. So I guess it's two things. It's the love of the game and just the ability to go out and watch the young men of today play football.
Yeah, and for me, I'm a Fairview guy. Born and raised in Fairview, participated in a lot of the Fairview events, have been involved with the school system in many forms and fashion, and when my youngest son was in the production department years ago, I just kind of jokingly said, well, I'll do the play-by-play, and that's kind of where it started. But again, as I mentioned earlier, I really enjoy sports, and being part of the Fairview community and anything that I can do to help it was kind of where we started. But what gets me motivated is the same thing that Tim does, the same thing he said. I love coming out, being part of the game, being part of the action, and love sports, love football, and being able to get up there and be myself behind the mic. You guys don't tell us what we should say or shouldn't say. We can just be ourselves, and so that really motivates me to get out and just be part of the action.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thanks.
What is the most interesting or funniest thing that happened while you were doing commentary?
I'll let you go first.
I think some of the comments that I have made, some of the name pronunciations of the players have been funny, and I think some of the plays on the field themselves have been funny. So throughout the process, and Tim joining me last year was an absolute blessing, because the years prior, it was kind of calling the game by myself, and I'd have some other folks helping point out who made tackles and so forth. Other students would be helping on that. But there has been tons of funny things that happened, and last year, one in particular, there was a student last year that his last name was Galizia, and I heard his pronunciation from the press box down below calling him Galusia, and so I'm thinking, well, wow, I've got it wrong. So I started calling him Galusia, and we had a game at Hickman County where he had 4 interceptions, and I was calling him Galusia all game, and poor guy got ragged about the pronunciation that I was given of his name. So I would say on the field action and mispronunciation of names that I found out about later. Sorry about the long answer.
For me, I think there's not one specific funny moment. I think it's a lot of moments during the game when Kevin and I are looking out the window trying to see what's going on or try to figure out who's making a tackle. And at this point in my life, I have to wear glasses. And I'm constantly putting on my glasses and taking on my glasses and looking out there saying, I think that was number 27. I'm not sure. And Kevin will say, I know, Tim, that was 67. So the funniest moments to me are during the game when you're trying to figure out what's going on, and you have those little minor mishaps that Kevin always seems to cover me with.
Oh, that goes back and forth. I get covered more than I cover him. So.
And I also remember a few occasions when there were moths in the booth.
Yeah, that was the Richland game. They had a real nice press box.
Open air.
It was open. It was big. It was open. We could walk around and talk, and it was an easy game to call because Fairview was in control. But there were several times when we were talking, we were being attacked by moths, and there were moths behind us. And in that particular soundtrack, you probably heard a lot of smacking where we were trying to get the moths out of the way.
And spitting them out.
Yeah, well, we promised free refreshments.
Protein.
There's a lot of protein in that game.
What NFL teams do you like to watch?
You want to go first?
Sure. Of course, the Tennessee Titans. Grew up a Cleveland Browns fan. And I would say my other favorite team is the Washington Redskins. Those three.
Well, I grew up during my young age into my middle teens as a Dallas Cowboy fan, and then kind of really didn't follow NFL for a little while. But when the Titans came to Nashville, I've been diehard Titans ever since.
Good plan. Does your football commentary remind you of your own past football experience?
Well, I didn't have a whole lot of past experiences. I stopped playing football before I got into high school, and a lot of my football at that point going forward is in people's backyards where we were playing unabated football, tackling good hard football out in the yard, no pads or anything. So to a degree it does because of all the fun things that I've seen and been involved with.
I've played a lot of football, both organized and backyard, and calling it on Friday nights is not so much taking me back to when I played. It's more, and Kevin and I have talked about this, how much the game has progressed. Back in the dark ages, like I say, when the earth is cooling, your kicker wore a square-toed shoe, and if you were inside the 10, you might try a field goal. Now we've got young men out there hitting 45, 48-yard, and attempting from 50-yard field goals and making some. So the game has just evolved so much more. So to me, what the game does is just show me how much it has progressed and how much better the young men today are than we were.
I agree with that too.
Do you have a favorite matchup from this year's season?
I actually think the favorite one for me for this year is a game that we actually lost, but it was such a hard-hitting game with a really bad field because of the rain and the weather, and that was against Hickman County.
Last play of the football game. Johnson going back. Throws the ball down the field. It's getting toward the end zone. Knocked down by Hickman County. He goes over the Fairview receiver's back, but the official is not going to make that kind of a key call in this game. Ball game over. Hickman County wins on the Fairview Yellow Jacket home field, 7 to the Fairview Yellow Jacket 6.
We ended up losing 7-6, but literally there was a lot of action in that game. There was a lot of back and forths in that game. We had several opportunities in the fourth quarter to win, and the field played such a part in the action of that game.
And this field condition is horrid.
That I would have to say, to me, that is the one game other than getting to eat all the protein with the moths.
The matchup that I enjoyed the most, purely from entertainment, was the Creekwood game. If you remember that game, Ben Johnson, first play from the gate, goes about 70-some yards for a touchdown.
Handoff this time, first play to Ben Johnson. Ben cuts it to the outside. Johnson's got plenty of room. He's going to run away from everybody. Tim, he's going the distance. Touchdown, Yellow Jackets. One play, 6 points. Yellow Jacket football starts off tonight with a bang.
Creekwood comes down, scores, and I think there were 2 or 3 touchdowns in a row, and we could not find a way to do anything with that quarterback from Creekwood. Well, except hit him so hard he went out of the game. And that was the key. That game was so hard hitting, and it was back and forth. And Kevin and I were talking about the third quarter. We were saying we have got to take control of this game now.
Yeah, Fairview's come out in a different defensive set this half. The first half we had that 3-down lineman, and we were trying to shift to the strong side because of the respect for that quarterback. This half we've got 4-down linemen, and we're jamming the line, and we're going to force that quarterback to make plays.
And Coach Whitefield and the other coaches just did a phenomenal job of making adjustments, and we did, and we came back and won that game.
Mormon in motion, handoff this time to Payne.
Other side, he's in!
He's in! Fairview wins! Fairview wins! Touchdown in overtime! Yellow Jackets win this football game 34-27.
Probably the most exciting and best matchup that I've seen this year.
Is it hard to see the game from the booth?
It's actually easier in some cases to see the game from the booth because you're above the crowd and you're looking down onto the field. Sometimes from the booth, with the way it is built, you can't see all of the field. So as Tim was mentioning earlier, we have to lean forward quite a bit to look toward one end of the field or the other. So ultimately, that yes and no. It's easier to see a lot that's in the middle on the end zone. Sometimes it's a little more difficult.
Yeah, from the 20 as you're facing the field, from the 20-yard line down to about the 15-yard line, it's very good. You can see it real well. But other than that, you'll see Kevin and I taking turns trying to hang our heads out the window, and then we're trying to look. We've got people down the stands saying, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
So, trying to see what's going on.
That's right.
When you guys have the TV with that has the clock camera on it, that helps us a lot because we can look there and sometimes we can pick up what's going on.
Yep.
One person wanted to ask, how's the weather up there?
Weather's really good up there. You know, every now and then with a lot of folks crowded in there, it gets a little warm. We have to turn the fan on in there. Even on nights where it's maybe a little cool out on the field or in the stands, it gets a little warm up where we're at, just because of the number of bodies that are up there. And
Plus you're working.
Plus we're working, we're talking, but it's not work. This is fun. This is a blast. I think I can speak for both of us on it. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's not a job. It's just hanging out on Friday and getting to watch people play football and kind of talk about what they're doing. You know, if you listen to it, we're really not calling a football game. We're kind of talking to each other about what we see, and you know, he's kind of saying all of the play-by-play and the color of what's going on. And I'm getting into, well, that guy hit that guy and that guy blocked that guy, and it's like two guys, you know, sitting down for lunch somewhere talking about a football game.
Yeah.
And it's just a lot of fun, and we enjoy that. Now, as for the weather, the Hickman game, it was very dry, and I appreciated that because that game was nasty. So I appreciated being up there that time.
Well, excellent. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything else you'd like to tell us? We have so many good feelings towards you two because of all you've done for us. Just made tremendous contributions to our program and really appreciate it. Anything else you care to say?
Well, I personally want to thank you guys for what all you do, the production staff. Literally, I know a lot of the kids that work on Friday night, and I like to call them young men and women because they come up there, they're very professional in what they do, and they're very diligent in the effort that they make of getting the cameras ready, and that's not easy. And from my perspective over the last 4 or 5 years, the involvement of the production team, what you guys do, the camera angles that you give us, and the way it all comes together has been light years from one year to the next. It's just getting better and better every year. And you know, Bob, from your perspective of always, even when we're probably pretty bad, the compliments that you guys give us is really nice. And I don't know that we're very good at all, but I think we're having a lot of fun, and hopefully the fun comes through in what we're doing more than anything. And but to kind of cap it off is the opportunity to do this to me, just to get out there and call a game and be up there and be part of the action, as I said earlier, is it's just something I look forward to during the football season. And it's just something I look forward to. And if you can look forward to something, then you're happy about it and you're proud about what you can accomplish, even when you're not that good sometimes.
I think you said it very well. I like the opportunity to come up there on Friday before the game and watch the young men and women that you have come in and just go about their business using all of this media terminology that I'm really clueless what they're saying, but all I know is at the end of all that, we've got a headset that works and it's really well. And I think that really speaks volumes of the growth of this program. And during your tour, you showed us all of this equipment you have, and that's just phenomenal. But above all, I think what I would like to leave everyone with is this one thought, that you guys have been given a great opportunity to learn things about how TV, how to put on a show, and how all that works. And I think you've got a great instructor. And the other thing I'll say from a personal standpoint that I really enjoy is outside of calling the game, is when I watch it on TV, because I really enjoy seeing the camera angles that we don't get to see when you're calling it. You're seeing it through your own eyes. And when you see those different angles, the field camera, the high-up camera, it just really brings the game in focus. And the only other thing that I would like to say, and I'll close with this, is I like listening to Kevin because he's so smooth and he has that real soft southern drawl. And then there's me, I sound like that Yankee from up north coming in and talking, and it's this diverse communication, but it seems to work for us. I'm talking like someone from Cleveland, Ohio, and he's talking like someone from Fairview, Tennessee, and it seems to work, and we enjoy it. And I'm just glad to have had an opportunity.
Yeah, and if I may add, Tim and I have been friends for a long time, and when I coerced him into coming up to the booth and joining me to do this, I knew that it would be a really good match between us because I think, complement each other very well in just general conversation, not even being behind a camera and or presenting things in a game. And so, I'd like to thank Tim personally for taking the step of coming up there and being part of the whole product that's delivered. But it all goes back not to what Tim and I do, it goes back to what you and your staff does, because we're such a minor part of the whole process. Really, I think it's what we do is minor compared to what you guys do.
Well, honestly, we don't see it that way. You guys are always excellent out there. We couldn't appreciate it more.
Thank you.
I'm just delighted to work with you both. Kevin Anderson.
Thanks very much,
you.
Bob.
Tim French, thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity.
So much appreciate your time and all that you've done for us. Thank you.
Thanks very much.